Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, I think.
In the middle of the week?
In the middle of the week on
On
the
the
couch. In our pajamas.
In our pajamas.
What's going on, babe?
We have something new coming to the We Still Like Each Other family.
Yeah, so, sometimes a lot of you will message us and be like, one ain't enough.
One episode ain't enough.
So we have been trying to figure out how to make that work.
And a lot of times we want to say more.
Yeah.
Like after we put out an episode, we have follow-up questions we kind of want to answer. We have things we want to clarify. And we're just like, we try not to go into the following episode repeating ourselves. So we figured we need to just create more content.
And with that, we have decided to take our talents
to
South Beach. To Patreon.
Patreon. We are starting a Patreon.
So yeah, we're part of the Patreon gang.
What is a Patreon, baby?
So a Patreon is a way to support your favorite creators. Just so happens that we're podcasters.
But wait, people support us. What do you mean a way to support your favorite creators?
With that coin.
Yes.
Coming out of that pocket, that tip money.
So far we've created 39 different episodes.
This one will be 40.
Yes, which means a lot of our time we've been pumping out episodes every week except our anniversary week since July. And we don't make any money from the podcast yet, right? So a lot of people have asked, like, how can we support? Patreon is the way to support. But you're going to get a lot more content for this extra support, financial support.
Yeah. So, like she said, we've been doing this for free. Mm-hmm. And I would say you all can speak to our consistency. Even when Steph was pushing out River, we had an episode lined up for y'all.
Yeah.
And, this way we are motivated to do this, but a little bit more financial motivation to get some extra content out there.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's why we're starting a Patreon. We're going to talk about the tiers and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But another thing that's cool about this new platform that we're going with is that we get to kind of expand what we discuss, right? Our podcast is a relationship podcast, and we know we can talk about that for many, 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 many years to come with special guests, with our own experiences, with life, with the media. Like, we totally believe that our niche could take us on this journey forever and ever and ever, right? However, we're two very well-rounded individuals, and we live in a very diverse world and a diverse city, and we have a lot more to say outside of relationships sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So in this space, you get to see us on a more personal level. You get to know us a little bit more on different subject matters, and we get to kind of gossip more about pop culture. Yeah. So today we are definitely going to dive into
the slap heard around the world.
Will Smith, Chris Rock, what the fuck happened? Let's get into that, baby.
So we're jumping into it?
Let's get into it.
So if you follow us on social media, my lovely wife here made a TikTok, and it's almost exactly how my morning went.
And how a lot of people's mornings went, apparently. It was very relatable.
So we go to bed at a decent hour. I say the latest 10-ish. Mm-hmm. So Oscars was definitely not on our radar.
No.
Not at all. So I woke up this morning, 5 o'clock. Like I always do, I just check my phone really quick for any notifications. I'll check my email. And I hopped on Instagram. And I think I even saw Will winning. And still nothing about the slap. And then I start scrolling a little more and I see it. And it was like an instant hit of caffeine. Like my heart was pumping. Like I was just like jolted with energy, and I was feeling a lot of different things. Like what the fuck? Like I can't believe this is happening. Like legit excitement. I don't know. Like maybe excitement's not the right word, but I was feeling something.
Yeah.
So I got
It was shocking.
I got ready for work, and like I always do, I came to kiss you goodbye. And if you watch that TikTok, it's exactly how I was like, did you set your alarm? Can you set it for me? And I was like, I set the alarm. I'm like, did you check your phone in the middle of the night? Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. And it's all I could think about.
Yep, that's literally what you said. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta get up now.
So yeah, you were up.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction when you saw it?
At first, I thought it was like a skit, like for a quick second. Like I thought it was fake.
Yeah, because even it almost looked like he was going with the flow of the slap, Chris Rock. Right? It also happened so quick.
When I rewatched it, he hit him really hard.
Yeah. So you think it was just his body?
His body kind of went. But it was like, and then I was also, I'm like, wouldn't people stop? Well, I guess not. Like it's kind of like Kanye went on stage when Taylor Swift. There's all celebrities there, so maybe the security isn't tight. But I just thought it was a skit for a second. But then you heard him shouting, "Keep my wife's name out your goddamn mouth!"
Out your motherfucking mouth.
And then everybody got like, ooh.
He said it twice.
Yeah.
Lupita's reaction was the funniest because she was sitting right next to Will.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think seeing her reaction was like, oh shit, this is really real. I posted a picture on my story of like a bunch of different celebrities' reactions. I was like, fuck.
So I wanted to talk about how my perspective on it has kind of evolved throughout the day. A certain part of it has remained the same. I remember you asked me, do you think Will was justified in what he did? Do you remember what I said?
You said, we're too grown, like violence is never the answer.
Never. Like, I would never, ever, ever sit here and be like, it's good that he got slapped. Yeah. That's just not me. That's not the type of person I am anymore. I've been about that life, and I've been left it behind a long time ago. I also felt that I still feel the same way, that the slap was unnecessary. I don't care where that frustration came from. And I still feel like there is a time and place for somebody to get slapped.
Okay, right? That's interesting.
Because let's say it was like, I don't know if you remember, a couple of months ago, there was a viral video of a New York train station. And this woman got in an argument with a man on a train station.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about the legend, the 8-ball jacket legend?
No, that was years ago. That was years ago. No. It was a woman. She got into an argument with this man on the train, and her husband was right there. And the whole time he wasn't saying anything, which I was like, fine. But then the man smacked her or hit her, right? Mm. And the husband still didn't do anything.
I think I vaguely remember that, yeah.
If we find the link, we'll put it. But in that case, I want you to defend me, because hands were being put. Violence isn't the answer. There, when it's defense, I expect you to stand up for me, you know?
So you're not one of those women who's like, stand up for my honor?
No. Unless I'm in physical danger, I don't need you to prove anything to me.
So if we're walking down the street and someone's like, fuck you, bitch.
I'd be like, whatever. I'm like, that motherfucker's crazy. Keep it walking. I kind of actually would even be mad at you if you try to engage in that.
That's good to know. But we do know that there are some women out there who they expect their man to get busy.
But this is also, if we're in the street and it's a random guy, right? Let's say we're at like a house party and like one of your friends gets drunk and is talking to me crazy. Then that might be different. It's like, you better not put hands on him, but like get him on my fucking face and check this dude. Let him know he better not be fucking ever talking to me like that ever again. So it's all situational. But we're talking about this situation where he was sitting, at least 100 feet away. He got up, walked across a long stage, and still smack them. It's kind of like premeditated murder. Like you had time
to stop
yourself on your way there. It wasn't that he was right there in your face and like it was the heat of the moment. You just had passion and rage. He says he acted on emotion. I don't think that's justified.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe it's justified. Even I guess we can briefly go over his statement.
Okay.
I think even his reason for it is whack, in my opinion.
He said he thought with emotion.
He thought with emotion,
but
and then he was also thinking about his wife's. What does she have?
Alopecia.
Alopecia is she's suffering from hair loss.
Yeah, it's an autoimmune disorder that attacks the hair follicles.
Listen, I'm no comedian. I think I'm funny, but I'm not a professional comedian. That joke on the scale of jokes it was kind of a corny joke, one, and it was really light.
Okay, so speaking on the joke, when I only saw it once in the morning, I thought Will Smith was already pissed. I've been in situations in the past where I know I'm going to be somewhere and I'm just waiting for the moment. Like if she bumps me, if she looks at me, if she does anything, I'm ready. So I initially thought when I only saw it once, when I saw the slap one time, I was like, Will was ready. He wasn't smiley. They have some beef in the background. Maybe he already made it known, no jokes about my wife, because they've had a rough couple of years in the media. Which is corny. But that's what I thought, because it was so, he made one joke, I'm up and I'm out. That was my initial thought. But now that kind of changed, because when you rewatch it again, he laughs at first. I'm not him. I can't speak to his mental at the time. But I thought maybe he did find it funny, but his perspective changed when he realized his wife didn't find it funny. Because her face immediately was like,
stoned.
She was like, like, you're corny. I don't find it funny at all.
And also note, she didn't flinch when Will got up.
I didn't see that. I was going to say, is there any footage of like what her reaction is watching him walk upstairs?
I've watched it a few times and maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like she kept her composure. Whereas I'm just imagining you like, whoa, like, what do you...
I don't know. I can't speak to that because I feel like I was like, where is the footage of her reaction?
Okay.
But I don't know. You could be right.
Either way, the joke was a joke. It was a bad joke. Mm-hmm. Not bad in the sense like, too soon, or listen, I like me some dark humor. That wasn't even on the scale of dark humor. It was just like, your wife is bald right now and she looks like was it G.I. Jane's a 90s movie? Like it was a 90s reference. It was corny.
It was, yeah.
And even the crowd was going,
and it's a movie joke because they're at the Oscars and like
it was just on the I know there's comedians at home with their Will and Jada book of jokes, and they're like, damn, that's the one that got him angry. I got some heat in here.
That's why I thought it was like previous bad blood already. Like,
so
he was waiting.
There is, I did see these two clips get put together of, I guess in 2016, they boycotted the Oscars and Chris Rock made some jokes.
Yeah.
I can't remember it right now.
He basically was like, "Oh yeah, you're boycotting the Oscars because you weren't invited. Like that's why you can't come." Damn, or some shit like that.
I feel like that shit was last year.
Yeah.
And they're trying to say like that was his motive. Like he was just waiting for Chris Rock to say some shit.
Which whatever it was, I definitely thought Will was ready. Like he was like, "Watch, if your name comes out of his mouth, I'm getting up." But he initially laughed, which makes it so fucking confusing.
But he's also a celebrity. And they're put in these situations where they have to compose themselves, protect their image. And it's like, you're supposed to, the camera's on you all the time. So if something, you just like, haha, and then hope that
then what, that whole idea of protecting your image goes out the window? You get up and slap the host?
Maybe once he saw Jada, then it flipped for him. It was like, we aren't laughing, or my partner isn't laughing. So I'm not going to, if we're both celebrities, and we know that the camera's on, so we just kind of have to haha and keep it moving. But then you're not playing the part that we're used to. I'm still in celebrity mode, but for you, it's like hitting home. So I'm haha, and then I look at you and I just see like disdain.
I don't know.
Fuck all that. I think that was some bitch ass shit on Will's part.
Yeah.
I'm not the violence person. You're never gonna convince me that your violence was necessary. So I get that there's probably some buildup. For the past 2 years, Will has been the butt of the joke with, you know, the red table talks, the entanglement, you know, just a lot of little things, and I'm sure it eats at you. And I saw an interesting take. We're recording on my phone, but someone was like, that slap wasn't aimed at Chris Rock. It was like aimed at the internet.
Yeah. I don't even believe that, because I feel like, I don't know, it just seems so out of nowhere to me. And then the other take the internet was taking was, you know, y'all say protect Black women, which I 100% am for, right? But not, it's like the same people who were easily joking on Jada, laughing at Jada, talking, making all these entanglement jokes, but now it's like, oh, protect Black women? Like, fuck out of here. Like, if you're gonna preach that, preach it all the time.
I think there's a time and place for things. Yes, that I don't know if you call it a movement, but protecting Black women, yes, it's necessary, and it does need to be talked about.
Yeah.
But we're talking about comedy.
Yeah. And even if afterwards, they would have spoken to Chris about that joke, I feel like there needs to be more education around her condition, right? I feel like it could have been a moment to bring attention to that and protecting Black women, or all women can get alopecia, but it affects Black women the most, right? So it's a topic in the Black community, Black women's community, that needs to be brought awareness to. This wasn't the way.
I agree with you, but you're almost I just feel like you're taking, or people are attempting to take the fun out of it. Chris Rock is a comedian. He was there to host, make people laugh, and keep it moving.
And I'm not gonna take that away from you, right? But this goes back to, think about Dave Chappelle and the way people attack his jokes about the trans community. You are, the way you like comedy, the way you like dark humor. I enjoy the Dave Chappelle sketches. There's millions of people who, no matter how funny we find shit, they're not going to agree with that. So I'm saying, if people were offended by the joke, that's totally okay. There's a group of people that are going to feel offended by that. Still, no one should get up on stage and slap anybody.
No,
do you get what I'm saying?
No, I 100% agree. Like, but I just feel like the people who are trying to police Chris Rock and what he was there to do, that's where I have a problem with. Like, no one could sit here and convince me that Will was right.
Yeah. But I bet you if Will didn't slap him, no one was going to be on the internet like, oh, wow, that G.I. Jane joke was so insensitive to alopecia. No one would have even connected that.
And honestly, I didn't even know she had. I
didn't know either.
I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's done short haircuts before for style.
I did remember her saying, like, my hair has been thinning out and I cut it, but I haven't kept up with her and like Red Table Talk and those things to know that it was because of alopecia, which I feel this is a good opportunity to bring attention to. This is an autoimmune disease. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, this is a good chance to now drag Chris Rock from making a joke about her hair. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't think the conversation should be around alopecia right now. I think the conversation needs to be around Will and his fragile ego, whatever that was. Like,
but both could happen.
Alopecia, I don't know
Both could
I
be
don't know how
there.
serious it is. I don't know if it's just like, do you have other issues outside of losing your hair?
Well, it's an autoimmune disease, right? So your your antibodies in your body thinks it has to fight something off.
Okay, so it is.
So I
it is a
know,
little more serious than
yeah,
just
it's kind of like
cosmetic.
lupus and stuff. Yeah, like I'm sure maybe hair is one of the symptoms, but it could affect you in different ways.
All good. I would have gone living my life unless someone else told me, not really knowing about it.
Mhm.
Not saying I don't care, but not really knowing about it. But Will, I don't know. I feel like he's sending the wrong message. And listen, jokes have come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the jokes we've seen, or a lot of the jokes we've seen, is like, has your man slapped anyone for you yet?
Yeah, and I hope if y'all follow me, I've shared shit like that because it's funny and it's all jokes. You know, like I don't want people to think like I want Travis to slap somebody for me. Like, no. Trust me, I told you I'm not with those street dudes, right? Why? Why are you looking at me like that?
No. I'm just hearing you out. But
Yeah.
that seems to be the narrative going around now. And, you know, creators of these things could just tell me it's jokes. It's
Mhm.
jokes. And I'm on board for a good joke. And they were funny.
Mm-hmm.
They're all funny, the ones you shared. We have friends of ours that have made stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Super funny. But I think the focus needs to be on Will. I'm not going to say you signed up for this because I'm not one of those people. Like I still believe celebrities are human beings.
Deserve respect, just like everybody else.
Probably even more so in my opinion, just because, you know, fuck, Will Smith raised me to an extent. Like I've spent hours and hours of my life watching Fresh Prince and movies of his.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I hold him to another level. Same with Chris Rock. Well, same with a lot of celebrities, especially black celebrities.
That's one time Chris Rock should have went after him after he hit him. Everyone's like applauding him for staying
professional. He was there to do a job.
But no, if Will Smith slapped some white guy, no one would be expecting this guy to like hold his composure and be professional. You get what I'm saying?
I'm saying he has.
He has what?
Slapped a white guy.
Who?
There was I'm just guesstimating here, but I think like maybe 7 years ago, he was in like, I want to say Europe, and some comedian, like a radio talk show host, something out there tried to like give him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, I saw that. No, baby. I mean, think of the Oscars moment.
Okay.
If he slapped like Leonardo DiCaprio and then Leonardo DiCaprio went after him and fucked him up, it would have been like, oh shit. No one would have been like, oh, he should have maintained his professionalism. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like there's this pressure on black people to be strong and be extra professional. Like someone just slapped the shit out of you. You should have went after him. That's when I'm like, okay, I don't condone violence, but in self-defense, I could not believe he stood like that.
You know what's funny? I totally agree with you on the Chris Rock thing. I do think we should praise him for his composure. Yes. But I 100% agree with you that
I feel like we're praising him for his composure, yeah, but it's kind of also expected of him.
As a black man.
Yeah.
But on a kind of another branch of this conversation, I overheard people at work talking about it.
Okay.
White people.
Oh, gosh.
And
I'm scared.
No. Okay. Nobody said anything crazy, but I kind of like muted their conversations in my head because I felt like Will and Chris, that's like my family.
Oh, like it wasn't their place to have an input.
Why are you having input on this? And I know like everyone loves Will Smith.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, that's my brother. That's my cousin. Like,
it's kind of like mind your business.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a family issue. And we, being their family, we're going to talk about it and we're going to work it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a little cringy for me hearing white people talk about it. That could just be my little hot take. But
yeah.
And it's not to say white people can't talk about these things. But that's honest.
It was sensitive. Like I had a friend say, like, I'm hurt. Like I'm sad. Like I feel like I'm mourning something right now. It feels like a loss, right? So that was another take. A lot of people had this kind of like residual embarrassment. Like they represent the Black community at the Oscars.
I hate that. I hate that so
go ahead.
much.
What's your take on that?
I hate it, but I know for a fact it's true.
Mm-hmm.
When you are the minority in any group, you represent that minority. So like at work, I represent the Black people that may or may not come through those doors.
Absolutely.
As an actor, as a celebrity, Will and Chris represent the Black people in Hollywood.
Which is unfair, is a burden way too heavy for anybody to carry. But you feel this like kinship, right? Like your family, like you said, right? So kind of like when the news reporters interview people on the street and then like the Black person they get is like embarrassing us. And you're like, fuck, they couldn't find someone else to give their opinion. It's kind of like that situation. Like you're like, come on, bro. So I get it. Like, I don't agree with it, but it's true. It's a reality, right? Like, we all code switch so much, which I don't really do anymore, thankfully. But you kind of had to. It kind of felt like an expectation. If not, you couldn't be in certain spaces, right? The one that I 100% disagree with, I could see the humor in it, depending on who's telling it. But when they're like, oh, now the Oscars is Black. Oh,
I didn't see that one.
Like, because you know how it was like Oscars so white? It was like, oh, they can't say that anymore.
Oh, I do remember that.
Like if now that violence was introduced, it's now a Black thing, which I don't like, because then that's correlating Blackness with like violence. And
just trust me, there's enough people pushing that narrative
already
that we don't need to do it ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess, how do you want to wrap this up? I want to say Will is 1,000% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate his statement, but even better than a statement would have not been doing it at all.
Yeah. Even if from his seat he said, "Don't talk about my wife,"
that would have been more powerful. That would have been more powerful than any slap or physical
Everybody
contact.
would have been like, "Good for you. You stood up for your wife." Like, for you to literally get up and physically assault someone. Like, what? Yeah. So then today in our stories, I had asked, like, have you ever slapped anybody? All the stories you got were kids. When they were kids. When we didn't know how to communicate. We were children when we thought slapping people was like an appropriate action. And we're trying our best to break the cycle with our own kids. And here you are on stage slapping people. And people look up to him, like you said, the Fresh Prince, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about, oh, this is a totally left thought, but it came in my mind, so I'm going to be honest. Everyone was coming at Lil Nas X for kissing a man on TV. What example is this setting to kids?
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I was like,
you know, people were trying to say like, oh, the kids are watching. So what? Like, kids watch heterosexual couples kiss on TV all the fucking time.
Yeah, I see your point.
Now, I haven't seen not one person say this is a bad example for children.
Kids, bro. What about the kids?
The kids can't see us trying to smack each other down. I haven't heard anybody say that.
You know, besides this moment, you know, Will Smith and Chris Rock will go down in the history books as like Black heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely.
like really like trendsetters. They pushed a lot of things forward for just entertainers, period, Black entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
And to have this stain on their story is like, ugh. Like even like all the entanglement stuff, I feel like that was just like trendy in the sense that 20 years from now, when we're discussing Will Smith's legacy, we're not going to be talking about,
But entanglement has nothing to do with his legacy. I just feel like it's something him and his wife went through.
But that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the last big thing that we know Will Smith for, or not know him for, but the last salacious thing he was in the media for, right?
Okay.
But now we have this act of violence that's not going anywhere. This is going to be referenced for years to come. Like this is going to be a moment in time that we will be referencing for years, if not decades.
I just hope he realizes how big of a mistake it was. Like, obviously, it's to be forgiven, but I feel like it speaks to celebrity culture too, and like what you think you could get away with because you're like rich and famous. You know what I mean?
100%.
So let's talk about Patreon.
Okay.
So Patreon is going to be like this. We're going to be able to talk about things when they happen, right?
Quicker.
The way social media works, the way the internet works, the way the media, everything is like fast, right? So this happened Sunday night. We just dropped our episode. So our next official episode wasn't supposed to air until next Sunday. Y'all would have been sick and tired of hearing of Will Smith and Chris Rock. So we want an opportunity to be able to reach our audience faster when shit hits the fan, right? So that's what you'll be able to do on Patreon. If shit happens in the middle of the week, we're going to be able to actually connect with our audience in a more personal way, like this, chilling on our couch in our PJs, having a beverage. And there are 3 different tiers, right?
Yes.
So the first one is for everyone. Even if you don't have time for extra content, even if you're like, once a week is enough.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for what you do. But I know y'all have very expensive microphones and y'all have 2 kids and we love y'all and we can't believe you spend so much time giving us this content. There's one level that's just a thank you, right? So that tier is $3.
Yes.
And you won't receive any extra content, but it's just like, thank you so much for doing what you do. And it's $3 a month.
Yes.
And then...
Does that have a name?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't have a name. It's just the first tier. The second tier does have a name.
Okay.
It's called the Lucky Sevens tier. So it does cost $7, but with that, you get content. So I'm going to just read off what I have here. So the Lucky Sevens tier grants you access to 2 live bonus episodes a month. Live. This means we will record an episode while our Lucky 7 members watch via Zoom. So the way this was kind of a bonus episode, we will have a Zoom call open with our guests. So that way they could ask questions live on the spot, put their 2 cents in about pop culture, or maybe what we'll be doing as well is answering follow-up questions to previous episodes, right? So we had an episode that just dropped with the co-owners of Casa Roma. Maybe you have some questions about that episode and we can answer them. We also had our therapist on, Kiara Luna. She just dropped this book. So maybe we'd be able to talk about the book. It all depends, but it's going to be a lot more personal.
Interactive.
A lot more interactive live episodes we get to record with the members of our Lucky 7 audience.
And we'll be doing that twice a month.
And if you can't make it to the live, it's going to be posted, but only exclusively to our Lucky Sevens Patreon. So they'll be posted. It'll be password protected to everyone in that tier. And then we have one more tier.
Yes.
The tier is called the We Really Like You. So this is our top tier and it's $12. You get everything that the Lucky 7 tier gets. Plus, you're going to get something really spicy. We are creating a close friends list on our Instagram. So you'll get access to our close friends and we're going to share more personal day-to-day content, finances, parenting, adulting, family, conversations. You'll have sneak peeks about upcoming episodes and guests. So if you notice, we've been very hush-hush. You don't really know what's happening until the day it comes out. In our close friends, you'll get a little bit of more behind-the-scenes planning, brainstorming, who our guests are going to be, what topics we're going to cover, before the episode drops. This tier gets a vlog as well. So we'll be recording throughout the month behind the scenes footage of our family, of the podcast, and we'll put it together in a vlog format for our tier 3, which is we really, really like you.
That's cool.
So we hope you all understand it. It's kind of complicated, right? If you have any questions, do let us know. We're going to leave the link.
Yeah, link will be in the description. And I think once you take a look at it, it's pretty self-explanatory. So, level 1 is just you fuck with us here.
Yeah, so level 1 is a donation. It's, I can't really keep up with more content, but I really enjoy what you drop every Sunday anyway. We want you to keep going, and here's a couple bucks a month. Lucky Sevens is like, oh, I want to engage with you. I want to get more personal. I want to have I want to ask follow-up questions to your podcast. You can also even give us topic ideas during those conversations, right? Maybe there was a really also y'all can relate and you just have some input, or you have personal advice you want to ask us. That's what those live shows are going to be about, and they're going to be posted exclusively for Lucky Sevens.
And, this is just the beginning. We may adjust, we may add, we may take off, but we'll inform you all as we're going through the thought process. So as of now, this is what it is, but as time goes on, it may get better.
Yeah, and you all, as members of the Patreon, get to give us advice as to what can change, what can we improve. I know in the future we want to have merch, so our Patreon members will probably have like exclusive access and discounts to those kind of things. We eventually want to have live shows like in an actual place where we get to actually meet people, and our Patreon members will have, first dibs on those events as well.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I know it's going to be a lot more work, but this feels natural. So
yeah, I feel like we had a conversation about like what's next, like what are we doing, what is going to be We Still Like Each Other beyond Sunday episodes, right? And this is what we came up with, and your support is going to be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
We have one more thing we want to discuss. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
I was going to say, if you watch this or listen to this and you still don't want to do any of those things, like subscribe to any of those tiers, that is 1,000% okay. There's nothing personal. I know for me, I have to be really invested in someone to shell out money. And that's only if you feel that way about us. So feel free to continue to enjoy the free content.
The weekly content, yeah.
And it is nothing personal if you're over there enjoying that and not having anything to do with the Patreon.
Yeah, other ways to support us are liking our videos on YouTube. Sharing with people. Oh, you know how now, if you notice on YouTube, our videos have ads. Believe it or not, skipping the ad hurts us a little bit. Like if you just let it play, it benefits our channel. So those are other small ways that you could support us as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be you shelling out money.
Yeah. But it's not, you're making it seem like you're saying shelling out money like it's a lot. It's $3 if you if you just want to show us a little love.
Yeah, that's like extra,
that's like not even a
guac.
cup of, that's not even extra guac, because it's tax on extra guac.
Got you.
It's not even a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Boy, do I know. Yeah, so this is mostly a thank you for the people who support us every week. And yeah, let's just keep on rocking.
Let's keep it going. So one other topic I wanted to talk about in this kind of informal setting was the possibility of male birth control pills.
It's funny how that came out right after I talked about getting a vasectomy.
Yes.
I guess, what are your thoughts first?
No, you're a man. I want to hear your thoughts.
I get to have thoughts? That's so alpha of me. My first thoughts was dope. I'm a little skeptical of any new science. i.e. the vaccine, but
And you're fully vaccinated.
I am fully vaccinated. So yeah, but I think it's cool. I hope it works. I think it'll benefit a lot of young men, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna tell my boys to wear condoms because you're just stopping pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not stopping all the extra stuff. But would I take it? I don't know. I think I'd be more comfortable with a vasectomy.
I was going to say, for us, we're like married. We have 2 kids. We're possibly going to have another one, like attempt to have another one in the future. We already know. Pull out game strong.
I mean, I do want to go back to cream pies.
Well, Mike, you're disgusting.
That's not what they call it?
I don't know what it's called.
What is it called? When you
just not pulling out?
Why you acting all like?
Because cream pies just sound gross. Like, it doesn't even sound hot.
What would you call it? Like the leave it in, daddy?
I would just say not pulling out.
You being corny.
No, you're being corny.
What's another name for cream pie?
I don't know. I've never even heard it being called a cream pie.
So what do you say?
Just don't pull out. Another vulgar terms.
Y'all leave a comment. I feel like you're being corny. And you like it more than me.
What?
You don't?
I like more than you?
Yeah.
Well, so now we're comparing. All right. So then don't ever do it again.
Now this.
Okay, now after you embarrassed me, back to our point.
Listen, this is Patreon content.
Well, this one isn't on Patreon yet.
Oops.
So when we get to Patreon, maybe I'll be a little more
comfortable
because this is like awkward. Like, this is gonna be on YouTube. But my initial thought was, yes, this is coming out now. So by the time my boys are like having sex, I could be like, all right, let's go get you on birth control.
That sounds so funny.
It does, but that's what happens to girls all the time. The minute girls are having sex, mom's like, let's make an appointment. You're getting on birth control. So I was like, I'd be happy to do that step with my boys in a few years once things were, the kinks were worked out. But I was doing some research.
Oh, boy.
And it seems like people are exaggerating how soon this might happen. The research that everyone's talking about,
it's like rats, right?
It hasn't even been done on humans yet. It's been done on mice.
Yeah, we're closely related.
So it's like, okay. Yeah. But then it's like, we got this COVID vaccine in how many months? In like 10 months?
Yeah, but there was pressure on for that. Like, people were dropping.
Yeah, but men be here having kids they don't take care of, having 10 different baby mamas. Girls have all these side effects to birth control. You would think they'd apply some pressure.
No one cares about women. What world are you living in?
I'm glad you know. But it's not as likely as I thought it was. It's not as advanced as I thought it was.
It was
clickbaity, like male birth control. I was like, oh yes, I'm gonna be that mom that's like, you took your pill today.
So what did I hear someone talking about? Like, what's that thing you get that goes up your vagina? And
whoa, a tampon?
No, for birth control. And then it's
IUD?
And it has like a little string.
I think so.
Like, how do you get it out?
I think the doctor has to get it out.
Oh, okay. Someone asking, like, if you put something like that up your dick hole, like, would you do it? Yeah. But the only pain you have is when it's going in and when it's coming out.
Yeah, the IUD is like
IUD?
That. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah, no, most men probably wouldn't. Yeah. But no, honestly, I feel like you like cream pies enough that you might do it. You might be like, fuck it, I'm taking one for the team. No.
Nah, not my dick hole.
Yeah. I don't even personally myself want an IUD.
You never had one?
Mm-mm.
You've only done the pill and the You did the implant.
So I was on the Depo shot for years. A lot of women that I know say they gain a lot of weight, have acne, like different side effects. It never did anything to me. I was very lucky. It even took away, like, I wouldn't get my menstrual cycle. I would get it like every 3 months, very light. So it was like ideal, but it does have long-term effects on your bones.
Mm-hmm.
It weakens your bone density. So even though it was perfect, I knew that I had to get off because I was like, it's so good that I will keep it. I will keep using it for years and years. And then when I'm 50, I fucking have osteoporosis. So I stopped it.
So you gave up cream pies for strong bones.
Oh my God, for strong bones. Okay. Then I did pills since I was really young for like cramps and stuff. Like they prescribe you birth control pills. I hated pills. They always made me nauseous. But remember when I was taking them while we were together, I would just take them right before I went to sleep. So then I wouldn't really feel the nausea. And the worst one that I was ever on was the Naproxen, the one in your arm.
Mm.
I heard raving reviews from women that they loved it, but it was one that for me, it gave me the worst acne I ever had in my life. And it was like a good 3 years that I was dealing with it, remember?
Oh, shit, yeah.
I only had it in my arm for a year, but the acne was like residual effects. It stood for like 2 more years after that. I feel like my skin is finally now better.
I do remember that shit. Yeah, the things y'all go through.
And here you are, like, worried about cream pies.
It's really important. Yeah.
Daddy?
Are we keeping that on Patreon?
Yeah, we're keeping it on Patreon. That's cute. Our little outro.
You should ask me on Patreon.
All right, fine. So you don't feel emasculated.
I am an alpha. Even though everyone on TikTok thinks I'm a beta.
Yeah, that's what the comments are saying. You want me to go slap somebody, babe?
I'm good. Violence is not the answer. Keep your hands to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And your hands on your credit cards when you're signing up for Patreon.
Ding, ding, ding. Daddy?
Baby?
Do you still like me?
I do.
Okay, boo. You need a new outro.
Okay, we'll work on it. Love you guys.
Peace.